examining the factors influencing entrepreneurship development and growth. Entrepreneurs are visionary, creative, confident, opportunity seeker, relation builder, and risk-taker individuals, who decided to ditch the 9-to-5 lifestyle to set up their own businesses, taking on financial risks in the hope for profit. But what is the making of such individuals? Entrepreneurship is influenced by 4 distinct factors: economic development, culture, technological development, and education. In areas where these factors are present, you can expect to see strong and consistent entrepreneurial growth. These conditions may have both positive and negative influences on the emergence of entrepreneurship. Positive influences constitute facilitative and conducive conditions for the emergence of entrepreneurship, whereas negative influences create inhibiting milieu to the emergence of entrepreneurship. Let us look at each one of them in details. Economic factors. The economic environment exercises the most direct and immediate influence on entrepreneurship. This is likely because people become entrepreneurs due to necessity, when there are no jobs. In countries where the economy is poorer, or where unemployment rates are high, citizens turn to starting their own small businesses where they see opportunity. Economic factors impacting entrepreneurship include: 1. Capital. Capital is one of the most important factors of production for the establishment of an enterprise. Entrepreneurship activity gets a boost with the easy availability of funds for investment. Availability of capital enables entrepreneurs to combine, where necessary, lands, machines, and other raw materials, to produce goods or services. Capital is therefore regarded as lubricant to the process of production and entrepreneurship. France and Russia exemplify how the lack of capital for industrial pursuits impeded the process of entrepreneurship. 2. Labor. Easy availability of right type of workers also affect entrepreneurship. The quality rather than quantity of labor influences the emergence and growth of entrepreneurship. The problem of labor immobility can be solved by providing infrastructural facilities, including efficient transportation. The quality rather than quantity of labor is another factor which influences the emergence of entrepreneurship. Most less developed countries are labor-rich nations, owing to a dense and even increasing population. But entrepreneurship is encouraged if there is a mobile and flexible labor force. 3. Raw materials. The necessity of raw materials hardly needs any emphasis for establishing any industrial activity, and its influence in the emergence of entrepreneurship. In the absence of raw materials, neither any enterprise can be established, nor can an entrepreneur be emerged. It is one of the basic ingredients required for production. Shortage of raw material can adversely affect entrepreneurial environment. Without adequate supply of raw materials, no industry can function properly, and emergence of entrepreneurship will be adversely affected. But availability of raw materials will influence entrepreneurial emergence. 4. Market. The role and importance of market and marketing is very important for the growth of entrepreneurship. In modern competitive world, no entrepreneur can think of surviving in the absence of latest knowledge about market and various marketing techniques. The fact remains that the potential of the market constitutes the major determinant of probable rewards from entrepreneurial function. Frankly speaking, if the proof of pudding lies in eating, the proof of all production lies in consumption. The size and composition of market both influence entrepreneurship in their own ways. Practically, monopoly in a particular product in a market becomes more influential for entrepreneurship than a competitive market. However, the disadvantage of a competitive market can be cancelled to some extent by improvement in transportation system, facilitating the movement of raw material and finished goods, and increasing the demand for producer goods. Social factors. Social factors can go a long way in encouraging entrepreneurship. In fact, It was the highly helpful society that made the Industrial Revolution a glorious success in Europe. The social setting in which the people grow shapes their basic beliefs, values, and norms. The main components of social environment are as follows. 1. Family background. This factor includes size of family, type of family, and economic status of family. Background of a family in manufacturing provided a source of industrial entrepreneurship. Occupational and social status of the family influenced mobility. There are certain circumstances where very few people would have to be venturesome. For example, in a society where the joint family system is in vogue, those members of joint family who gain wealth by their hard work were denied the opportunity to enjoy the fruits of their labor because they have to share their wealth with the other members of the family. 2. Education. Education enables one to understand the outside world, and equips him with the basic knowledge and skills to deal with day-to-day problems. In any society, the system of education has a significant role to play in inculcating entrepreneurial values. For example, in India, the system of education prior to the 20th century was based on religion. In this rigid system, critical and questioning attitudes towards society were discouraged. The caste system and the resultant occupational structure were reinforced by such education. It promoted the idea that business is not a respectable occupation. Later, when the British came to our country, they introduced an education system just to produce clerks and accountants for the East India Company. The base of such a system, as you can well see, is very anti-entrepreneurial. 3. Attitude of the society. A related aspect to these is the attitude of the society towards entrepreneurship. Certain societies encourage innovations and novelties, and thus approve entrepreneurs' actions and rewards like profits. Certain others do not tolerate changes, and in such circumstances, entrepreneurship cannot take root and grow. Similarly, some societies have an inherent dislike for any money-making activity. It is said that in Russia, in the 19th century, the upper classes did not like entrepreneurs. For them, cultivating the land meant a good life. They believed that land belongs to God and the produce of the land was nothing but God's blessing. Russian folk tales, proverbs, and songs during this period carried the message that making wealth through business was not right. 4. Cultural value. Motives impel men to action. Entrepreneurial growth requires proper motives like profit-making, acquisition of prestige, and attainment of social status. Ambitious and talented men would take risks and innovate, if these motives are strong. The strength of these motives depends upon the culture of the society. If the culture is economically or monetarily oriented, entrepreneurship would be applauded and praised. Wealth accumulation as a way of life would be appreciated. In the less developed countries, people are not economically motivated. Monetary incentives have relatively less attraction. People have ample opportunities of attaining social distinction by non-economic pursuits. Men with organizational abilities are, therefore, not dragged into business. They use their talents for non-economic end. Psychological factors. Many entrepreneurial theorists have propounded theories of entrepreneurship that concentrate especially upon psychological factors. These are as follows. 1. Need achievement. The most important psychological theories of entrepreneurship were put forward in the early 1960s by David McClelland. According to McClelland, need achievement is social motive to excel that tends to characterize successful entrepreneurs, especially when reinforced by cultural factors. He found that certain kinds of people, especially those who became entrepreneurs, had this characteristic. The theory states that people with high need achievement are distinctive in several ways. They like to take risks, and these risks stimulate them to greater effort. The theory identifies the factors that produce such people. Initially, McClelland attributed the role of parents, especially the mother, in mustering her son or daughter to be masterful and self-reliant. Later he put less emphasis on the parent-child relationship, and gave more importance to social and cultural factors. He concluded that the need achievement is conditioned more by social and cultural reinforcement, rather than by parental influence and such related factors. 2. Withdrawal of status respect. There are several other researchers who have tried to understand the psychological roots of entrepreneurship. One such individual is Everett Hagen, who stresses the psychological consequences of social change. Hagen says, at some point, many social groups experience a radical loss of status. Hagen attributed the withdrawal of status respect of a group to the genesis of entrepreneurship. He postulates that 4 types of events can produce status withdrawal. 1. When someone is displaced by force. 2. When someone their valued symbols belittled or withdrawn. 3. When someone drift into a situation of status inconsistency, and 4. Someone's status not being accepted when migrated into a new society. 3. Motives. Other psychological theories of entrepreneurship stress the motives or goals of the entrepreneur. Cole is of the opinion that besides wealth, entrepreneurs seek power, prestige, security, and service to society. Stepanek points particularly to non-monetary aspects such as independence, person's self-esteem, power, and regard of the society. On the same subject, Evans distinguishes motive by 3 kinds of entrepreneurs. 1. Managing entrepreneurs whose chief motive is security. 2. Innovating entrepreneurs, who are interested only in excitement. 3. Controlling entrepreneurs, who above all other motives, want power and authority. Training and entrepreneurship development. Although entrepreneurship education is very important, it has been found that training is also effective in creating entrepreneurial skills. Studies found a strong relationship between entrepreneurship training and business creation, on the long and short-term horizons, perceived entrepreneurial ability, and entrepreneurial mindset and thinking. Summary. The world is greatly indebted to entrepreneurs whose ideas and ventures have changed the way we live and work to the better, creating jobs, growth, and the conditions for a flourishing society. Entrepreneurs are therefore a national asset to be refined, motivated, and remunerated to the greatest possible extent, through learning the exact influences that impact their development and thus supporting them. Remember to share this video with others to educate them about the factors influencing entrepreneurship development and growth. And for more videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, that is, Talent and Skills Hub, enabling environment for actualization of passions and ambitions. You can visit our website, tshub.com.